that the cutoff saw right there. This is a 3/16 8-foot shear. I bought 45 years ago, or thereabouts, 40 years ago. That saw I bought 40 years ago. This is all equipment that I have had. I own that welding table right there since the beginning of my business some 47 years ago. This is my equipment. Tony somehow is claiming is his at this point. Moving on back. This is a brake press I bought from Carl Manowski some 35 years ago. From Manowski Welding, I bought that from Carl, an old friend of mine. The tools on the wall behind there, all tools that were remaining here belong to me. This saw right in front of us, Tony bought, that's good. Tony bought that himself, and he got that after he moved back in here and started Great Day Welding. Tony does have a few items in here that he has purchased himself. Some of the items that he has purchased, he has replaced items that by our agreement was to be replaced. Those I own at this point. Now I'm going to walk into the west office, which is also a portion of my building that has never been relinquished to Tony. It is exclusively my own. And what's in here, I'm going to walk up here instead. I'm going to show you what's in here. These are automotive parts in here and projects for my retirement. And this is exclusively mine. And at this point now, I believe it can be construed that Tony has locked me out of this room, with the exception of coming through this part of the property, which is the West Bay, which he has forbidden me to come here. He has said I am not welcome here. So if you want to just walk up here, Joe. I'll turn these lights on too. Stop right there. You can just go over this way, just pan slowly. These are hundreds or thousands of parts that I have compiled over the last 30 or 40 years, planning on my retirement, which began 2.5 years ago. When I started my retirement, I invited my son back here from Florida and made, by our agreement, gave him the opportunity to come back here and renew his life in Wisconsin and take over Great Day Welding, which I had just recently retired from. I actually closed the business for 8 months, and then I revived it for him. Go real slow. Up that way. I'm gonna turn these lights on. Go that way. I mean, don't go there. Just shop up there. Not fast. Okay. I just will point out some of the things that are in here. If you just go back over this way. That little dragster right there is a project that I built about 10 years ago, and it's still track worthy. On the back wall are parts of that car. There's a jukebox for what I hope to be still in my future, to develop this room into a 1950s soda fountain to complement the 1950s gas station that I have out in front. That jukebox is a big part of it. And the rest of this room is taken up with the old Cushman scooter, this lollipop scale, vintage bar stools, and I've got a number of those that I hope to use for my soda fountain. On further over here are multitudes. All that way I know this is a 50 by about 25-foot room, and it is full of parts, small parts, automotive parts that will become that are parts of that I have kept specific for my retirement. Now I'm going to walk over to the door. Now, once again, I would like to state that there is a temporary injunction against my son Anthony Norris to make him stop locking me out of my property. I'm going to have you just stay right there. And you can walk over here just a little bit. I believe this constitutes locking me out of my property. These are vice grips that I did not put on there, and I do have a key that opens this door from the outside, but not with these on there. I believe he has locked me out of my property, of this property, which is against the injunction that is placed on him. My attorney has suggested I validate all this, which is what we're doing right now. And with that, I cannot get in and out this door. And he is not to keep me from this property, in or out. Further, he is not to move or displace any of my personal property, which you have seen thousands of pieces already. You haven't counted them, but there are thousands of pieces in here. And outside is my 1950s gas station, retro gas station, which we will go outside and take some pictures, but he has totally obscured, go way over here, to access from the outside to inside, and this place has been advertised and publicized, and a number of car clubs have made appointments to come here on road trips or cruises, and we've had a number of weddings here for photo shoots outside. As it is right now, a good portion of the property that you see blocking the door, blocking access to my property that we're standing in, and blocking access to the gas station that is outside, which we'll take some better pictures of outside. He has blocked access to this from the public and from myself. And I have, by our agreement, rights to all of this. So I think I'm going to terminate this now, and we're going to go back through, leave it, you can just shut it off when you shut it off right